Then you're going to be hearing from the special agent in charge of the Denver field office, Steve Kagan. Afterwards, if you guys would like to interview any victims or witnesses, they will be here, but please be respectful. They do not want to be filmed or recorded. Please be respectful of that. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email me. I'll be sticking around here. I can give you my contact information. We'll also be sending out a press release that should hit your inbox. If you don't receive it, please find me. We'll make sure you get it. And we'll be also distributing the remarks. And this is also being live streamed at HSI Denver. Thank you. This is a 2-minute warning. Are you guys all hearing the audio?
Yeah, sure. So they're about to start the press conference. Press conference in Ghana start. Just few details about when they can we are start while you the Lord in Dame. Some of the press conference in the start. So yeah. Okay, they're coming.
Thank you, Acting United States Attorney Rule, Special Agent in charge of HSI's Denver field office, Steve Kagan, and everyone for being here. My name is Matthew Gagliotti. I'm the head of the Department of Justice's Criminal Division. Today, the department secured the conviction of Michael Sang Correa on multiple counts of torture and 1 count of conspiracy to commit torture. This verdict underscores the Justice Department's determination to protect victims and prevent perpetrators of torture and other heinous crimes and human rights violations abroad from seeking a new life here in America. You cannot hide here. We can and will prosecute you if you come to the United States after committing atrocities abroad. This country will not be a safe haven for human rights violators. At the outset, I want to express my admiration and gratitude for the strength and the courage of the victim witnesses who traveled all the way from Africa to a courtroom in Denver, Colorado to tell the jury what Correa did and what he and his co-conspirators set out to do. Reliving those horrific crimes and facing their tormentor in person again takes tremendous bravery. It must have been painful and difficult. We thank them for enduring this ordeal in the interests of justice. I also want to express my appreciation and commend the prosecutors from the Criminal Division's Human Rights and Special Prosecution Section, Assistant United States Attorneys from the District of Colorado, and agents from Homeland Security Investigations for relentlessly pursuing this case and ensuring that justice was done. The evidence presented at trial exposed the depravity of the torture Correa and his co-conspirators engaged in 2006, prior to Correa's arrival in the United States, where he sought to escape accountability for his crimes, hiding here in Colorado. The government's evidence showed that Correa, along with his co-conspirators, tortured and abused victims accused of plotting a coup against the regime then in power in the Gambia, a West African country that at the time was under the regime of President Yahya Jammeh. Correa belonged to a special unit of the president's security forces known as the Junglers, who brutally cracked down on what the regime claimed was a coup plot. Trial testimony revealed the direct role Correa played in that torture. the intent to cause severe pain and suffering, Correa and his co-conspirators dripped hot, molten plastic onto the bare skin of one of their victims. They put plastic bags over their victim's head, restricting breathing. One of Correa's co-conspirators put the barrel of a pistol into the mouth of a victim. They threatened victims with knives and stabbed one of them. They electrocuted their victims. And they extinguished cigarettes on their skin, rubbed sand in their eyes. And they hit one victim in the face with a hammer. The torture went on. There was virtually no bounds to their cruelty. But just as there were no bounds to their cruelty, there are no bounds on how far this Justice Department will go to hold people who commit such brutality to account. People who have committed violent crimes, let alone human rights abuses, should not come to the United States, period. They are not entitled to live the American dream. They belong in prison. The core policy objective of the Justice Department is to secure our communities against criminal aliens, and today's conviction of Correa is one more step taken in that direction. Wherever we have jurisdiction, the Justice Department will prosecute persons who have committed atrocities abroad under the federal criminal statutes prescribing torture, war crimes, genocide, and the recruitment and use of child soldiers, among other criminal charges. The Department can also use our criminal and civil immigration and naturalization laws to revoke U.S. citizenship or obtain other penalties. My thanks go to the department's prosecutors, paralegals, historians, analysts, and others who have worked on the Correa case with impressive determination and skill. They did so while always putting the victims first, which is one of the department's core principles. Correa's conviction is the third time in which a defendant has been found guilty of torture in federal court, and it won't be the last. Today's verdict is a demonstration of our commitment to leave no stone unturned to prosecute human rights violations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gagliotti. Mr. Kagan. Michael Sang Correa made a huge mistake coming to Colorado. He thought that he could escape accountability for the vile acts of torture that he committed in the Gambia in 2006 while working as a member of a military organization known as the Junglers, forcing confessions of treason from enemies of then President Jammeh. He thought that his crimes against his fellow Gambians would be forgotten. But Colorado is not a safe haven for torturers. It's not a refuge for sadists, and it is not a home for those who flee justice. Justice will not forget Michael Correa's acts, nor will Colorado harbor anyone who attacks another's dignity through such acts of barbarism. I want to thank the courageous victims and witnesses who traveled halfway across the world to tell their story, to tell the story of others who suffered at the hands of Mr. Correa and the Junglers. Thank you. I want to thank the jury of everyday Coloradans who listened to the evidence. Evidence that was at times painful to hear, and who rendered their verdict based on that evidence and the governing law presented to them. They have done a great service to the state of Colorado and to the world by offering their time and attention to such an important matter. I want to thank the trial team of Melissa Heineman and Laura Kramer-Babbage, from our own U.S. Attorney's Office here in Colorado, Christina Giffen, Marie Ziza, of DOJ's Human Rights and Special Prosecutions Section, for your tireless work on this case. Thank you. And finally, I want to thank our agency partners who helped with the investigation of this case. In particular, the Office of Homeland Security Investigations. This case, one of a first of its kind, is years in the making. And HSI's dedication to the investigation of Mr. Correa is worthy of praise. Today, those years of hard work led to 12 jurors finding Michael Correa guilty of conspiring to engage in torture and of torturing 5 of his fellow Gambians. At the end of the day, that guilty verdict is a rebuke of the rule of the junglers and a resounding affirmation of the rule of law for the people of the Gambia. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to really kind of foot stomp what both of these two gentlemen have said, which is this is a precedent-setting case. And a precedent-setting case that we are honored to be involved with. I also want to point out that this is a full-of-government approach. Men and women of Homeland Security Investigations, the HSI, Human Rights Violators and War Crime Center, our partners with the FBI, the Diplomatic Security Service for their work overseas, the DOJ, Human Rights Special Prosecution Section, Colorado U.S. Attorney's Office. But like the others, I want to say the most important thing about this case is the courage of the victims and the witnesses that came forward, because without them, we would have nothing. And really, this case, it speaks for itself. So the only thing that I want to say is, if you commit these atrocities in your country, don't come to the United States and seek refuge. Because the men and women of HSI will hunt you down. We will find you, and we will bring you to justice. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our press conference. If anyone has additional questions, feel free to email me. We did issue the press release moments ago. And again, please be respectful of the witnesses. Somebody may want to.
So yeah, that is the end of the press conference. Yeah, press conference in Bantale. Tak. Yeah, interview with Andy. Yeah, mu yow ñoo am interview. Lan nga feel tay bi nga verdict bi bu mu xewé ba pare?
Tey dama jooy waaye jooy bi jooy bànneex la woon parce que at ñaata at léegi since 2006 bi ñuy xewee benn tey ñu waaye graduated bi am tey jooy naa trop waaye jooy bi jooy bànneex la bi jooy def parce que dama seet ñii biñ ko def xam nañ liñ doon def nangu nañ leen doon def soo ku toog fii di wax ne dañ leen forcé te si keesi Michael Correa bi moom dafa toog ba 2016 bi mu xamee ne fi mu nekk Yaya Jammeh luus na moom mu daw waaye mu doon enjoy privilège si li ñu cooco li ñu dóor li ñu def li ñoo def waaye tey moom alhamdulilahi rabil alamin yàlla moom ne la woon su waxtu bi jotee rek li moo def dina ko def soo tey bési yàlla la ñu ngi waa alhamdulilahi rabil alamin
jërëjëf yow waay thank you so much ene mbara
baɗigol
korrade yamune fil bi
bi fof contano
ito fo mo le volo
toto
seni bayo
bayo
e fanan testify ta janne bi akam ta vadi ditale so mune mila reaction
fof contano because ni justice sotota ko bele soto ni justice man soto ko man soto ko min mba kendilala milke ni sifal ke e be bolato e bajala ko ni yake samañol to justice be sotle la parola la mbi si sentence mo so hani lafta telephone be sidala la ta
yamun general advice le sort after this verdict for Gambia Masakunda and then victims all and everywhere
anyway the advice ni min for no wala mu like mital service ol na hakiltu o sifat ka ni yake isima bu nyawnya folu yo soto finti ndi no finti lum sita wala be malal ikilinta malla itabe malula ila family fanambe malu ndunga sidi no manole fo yelma woro so min bo nyama nsi hakiltu nke kulto animma nke nyalto animma nyalto hadma dum kan
so ngalo na nyingi tili danta neta banda ibe muna fula dol bi jele mi alon ko me samba kiti wala folo
min man samba kiti wala ifana nyanta tala kiti wala pour justice ye soto ye militora wala fanansi ajeko ila toro nyin momi nya kasa ya normal kajeko itelefane siloso
abarka bage thank you so much laftale ni sot fenko soro okay all right got it offer mo le folo ya ye powerful testimony le di nyin kiti kabrin kiti o bitaka dol bebe non kono to jele bari bi akamta vadi ditale Korea guilty 6 council belele but mune me la reaction oti kabrin ye vadi ditale
it's just a wonderful relief for me, comfort for me, more relaxing situation. Yes, what I've gone through, just to come after 19 years, Malala was, I thought it was impossible. Yeah, so it's a day of relief, humors, noise, untrustworthiness. Some don't believe in what he said. So the justice has been done, all what the sharing is about it. And we are happy that justice is done, even for those in the graves. I really dancing in that grave, I saw you that.
So what would like general advice to the victims, Mansakunda and everyone?
Yeah, clearly we heard it from them. That the United States is no-go area for anybody who has committed a crime. So let them fix that. And all I want to do is for Africa to bring this down, to copy these situations. A lot of refugees are in different parts of Africa. One of them is our former head of state, Yaya Jammeh. I did Equatorial Guinea. I'm trying to avoid justice. If everybody works like United States, that belief, that collaboration, that togetherness, will make sure everything has one hand. There will be no injustice in this world.
ya fenting ngaje Michael Sang Correa birate nyin tajrinte yake aportane atakana babo kana kajanto amankana no luwa bulo la takam mondi fana beje million tajrinte ya sifa ke te mon message la sude kan sono no
going on for role ebe Gambia o ebe anywhere o isanko mobuga multo nyema mai America ngol Korea fu gamen jango ko mode duati nyale na mabu America o is out. So left out to the dunya fana mobe o longo e mobe dawa da ko ko dingo ko be sale duma e ba ko fonyo ko no there will be a day for justice.
Thank you so much. Faring Sanyang for testified.
Finally, we've got one part of it. But the most important part is I must have to thank the American government, the International Center for Justice, as well as the Department of Justice of Colorado for pursuing this noble cause. Well, we went through very serious situations. We've never thought that we'd be here today. Thinking of the day when we were arrested and the brutality we underwent. Finally, with the help of the American government, Trial International Center for Justice, and the securities of the United States of America have finally provided us justice. Many will run, but none will escape. That's the bottom line. So it's better to do good, so that good can follow you and good can wait for you. You do bad, bad will follow you and it will wait for you at a corner.
Do you think justice is served in this case?
Evidently, justice is served. Because in the first place, we are victims. And then those who tortured us were also provided with counsel to stand for them in order to defend them, to make sure that there is justice at the end of the court. And everybody has manifested to that. Yeah.
Final word to, we have seen a lot of, how to call it, a lot of suspects who committed human rights violations walking free in Banjul. What message do you want to send to the government in Banjul about that?
Well, that is the responsibility of the government of the Republic of the Gambia. A commission has been set by the government, and the commission have already concluded their investigation. Everything is compiled and then handed over to the government. So that decision is now in the hands of the government, because we can take law into our own hands. That is why that commission has been set. So if the government had set such a commission, and a lot of money has been invested to that commission, obviously they should have taken a bold step to make sure that those culprits are put to justice. Yeah.
One more question. Ita mu multi mi alongo ila testimony to Michael Sang Correa do ko ke kotole. Ya describe ko mole mi alongo kuluta no mbakele mole mi alongo akela moyle no. But kabra kira jongula te falinta andong ay lipa ma jibe ko anene do ko ke koto. Yemu advice this sort of for the young security mi alongo wolle be Gambia do ko min kira Michael Sang Correa la te.
Aparaka ba. Tebe be fola security personnel le wala ninti ko na fulo kana mo dum ku manyana minkela. You understand? Sembo kana mo ku fandi ku manyana minkela. It is very important for moment ni adafa wata for moment ni ye mira somala ning ayatara nun itel be positionnement aninte fana nga ku fango tanu kunu kenno abe positionnement binde fana be tarla wala so dum fala men fala mo le ko mo kana lu wata yake bloko mo kana ku ke me yalo ko anil wa manda ka fa ko yen silande be nyine kalanna ala le warta fek mo beti ala le aka sembo karfa mo la bare mo man sembo so lungu be silande me alon ko sembo be bole bulle completely e marite sembo so so mo mon ni be do ko la civilian wala o civilian jante safla le jante do ko kelele komin ko itemu la do kulale bare manyi na itan le komin ko ibe symbol tamande le
thank you
dal mu do kulale nu ha adu do ko ngawle tamande ning ayatar non ko def nan bulata sinno no kan tan non fanam betar law situation si falto bi
abarka ba kela mo natalo la janni ba misla yeah all right so these pictures me alongo ebe wala ki gan very sanko.
You guys post these pictures on our drive?
Yeah, sure, of course. You get the poster.
Hey.
So you know, of course, our final group photo. Unfortunately, yeah, sure. All right. No, this is nice. Yeah, so thank you so much. Abe banta janne. Natara reba jibe kan dong press conference kara reba valid detail kiti bungoto. Michael Sang Correa. All the charges. Avono count woro be ya muta be la hani claim man drop. Komodo ya miranu nyame. Count woro ya muta abella. Count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4. 5 yewole bonde bayrim bunja mannano. So count 6 and count 7 ya muta bella jang akamuta victims sol mi alon ko leta muta kana jang wol be mo leti mi alon ko be contande ne ando america fanan la masakunda la official sol aliye moy ibe mim fokan ka sutiande wala minte ko ite mo allah wala ye mo lipay la banko to mi alon ka manke america ti yene ma bo jang iko ite o ala wala so ngal tindu kal je bake momo be kerfatu jibe kanno ba fulale ko ala barka bake alen no ma nyamen kabin trial ning start nyamen fo abanta nyamen bi ba fulale ko thank you so much fo also tenten kan programme wol no bare al stal fanan sen kerfatu wo be ma ko la bake na dogol to ni de ba jibe kan don al stal sawa al stal jama bal sen kerfatu e pour ase ma ko non na dogol to mi alon ko ambe wala ke kan woto al tenten kan programme wol jibe ala